I see your demons, I'm telling them it's on sight. I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh. Try to correct me.
All right, let's do this at 2 Pete. Second time.
That's right.
Second time for you. Miss Raquel, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And I'm so excited to do this again. Thank you so much for the invite.
Well, we just want to thank you. For those that don't know, every time we come and do our podcast, she is like our mom. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's like our best friend. She's always offering us where to stay. You always take care of us. So since this is our second time here, we just wanted to honor you and thank you for doing so, because I don't think these Dallas trips being recorded here and everything would be the same at all if it wasn't for you and your hospitality. And then we get to go to dinner afterwards. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying, your presence all the time, and Vladimir,
Yeah. Woo, shout out.
Yeah. You're always welcome to come anytime, both of you and your families,
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Raquel.
You're welcome.
Well, I know you've been growing a lot, and we were talking and we're like, okay, let's do a second podcast together, because for those that don't know, yours was one of the most views, both on YouTube and Spotify combined. It also got, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it got one of the most shares on like Facebook, Instagram.
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
Like there was a lot of
That's right.
engagement. So you're an influencer in the space, apparently. People love your
Trying.
yeah, people love your energy. But we were talking like, what? Last time we went more on like the story. We went on like one-time jobs. I know Karen was here and how one-time jobs turned into something bigger. And we're thinking we should do another one, but we should focus a lot on the subcontracting model, correct?
Okay. Yes.
I know you do both. You have both internal employees, you also sub out work, and you also sub for companies that have additional work for you.
Correct.
What is your beliefs or methods of like, how do you feel about subcontracting? Because you see it differently
You see
than
it from
most
all-
companies.
You see it from
Yeah.
all perspectives,
Yeah,
which is
you
really
have your
unique.
subs, you
Yes.
sub for others. You like so how, just give us a little insight into that.
Thank you. As I mentioned on my first podcast, I started with a franchise, right? So, enable for me to transfer to like a solo or my own company, I didn't know how to do that because I wasn't experienced on sales, or just I wasn't doing any marketing at that time.
Yeah.
So an opportunity came, from a company that they needed it. Well, with a franchise, we used to have this chain of stores. They were electronic stores. So actually, at one point, we lost that contract. However, I mean, we lost the contract not due to my fault, but from other franchisee owners. So this company arrived to get that contract, and the managers were very happy with my work. So
So it was like
said,
above. The problem
yes.
was okay, got
Yeah,
it.
so the national company that came to take over, they say, "Hey Raquel, they really like you. They really like your team. I know that your franchise is no longer gonna have a contract, but we do, and we would like you to stay." So that's when I started doing my first subcontracting with them back in there, and so I started, getting with the same locations, and they give me more locations. And that's when I started, experiencing the subcontracting. And I saw like, well, this is a good opportunity because actually I was making almost the same money as with the franchise because the franchise will take, royalty fees and all
Yeah.
of that. So at the end of the day, it was a little bit, almost the same thing, So I enjoy it and I learned a lot from them, and they continue giving me more buildings. And as they know how we used to work, they continue adding more and more. So I find out that subcontracting was a good way for me to become more independent from my franchise and transfer to my own company.
So I have a quick question on that, because this question I think comes up a lot, and I obviously don't know how to answer that. We don't know how to answer anything. Somebody was like, "Oh, what we're trying to do?" Somebody was asking us about cleaning, and we're like, "I think we shouldn't talk on those topics."
It was black. It was black.
Oh yeah, Vlad was trying to get us to talk about like
He's like,
quality
why don't you guys
control.
talk about subcontracting? We're like, we don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. So here's a question for you. Usually when we're talking about subcontracting, we understand questions that the audience has. That's as far as we go. Margins is a big thing in subcontracting, right? People are like, oh, pues, I'm making less money. I'm making less margins. Let's put the franchise away. from a contractor to sub, what's a good margin for the contractor to keep on the deal? So whenever if you're the contractor and you have subs, what do you tend to want to keep in margin? Like, what's a healthy margin on that
35%
as a contractor,
as
and then
a prime contractor.
prime contract, and then the sub you give them that 65,
Yes.
ideally.
It also depends, of the contract, but usually 65 to 75%.
Is what you're trying to give them.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, so that's contractor to sub, and then there's
That's another stop.
yeah. And so, but you try to keep that regardless, right? Whether if you're the second, if you're not the prime contractor, if you're the sub yourself, you ask for 65 to 75
65
as
to
well.
70, yes.
Okay.
And it's also, like I said, it depends on the contract. If they give you more contracts with the same company, in different areas, we may work out, something, because it's just about, like, I will say, about volume.
Yeah.
But still you have to get at least 65% to 70, so you can compensate your team with at least 50 or 45 to 50%.
Is there such thing like, and maybe I don't know, prime to sub, like second, and then that subs out more? Is that too much?
Well, prime, sub, and then sub, and you meaning another sub below
3
the
subs.
Yeah, it is possible.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, I at one point, there is the prime, and then I take over, and then I sub it to my team, and then my team may do sub it to to the family, maybe, or to another person. Yeah, it's still possible. If
Interesting.
it's a volume involved, yes, it's possible.
How do you, as someone who has been a subcontractor yourself, and companies are approaching you to do sub work? I'm sure, like, there's different companies across the board. How do you identify the good ones to be a subcontractor for?
Where I look first into how long they've been in business, first of all, and also I also look at their websites to see what kind of reviews they have, and how long. Again, it's about how long they've been in business. But there is no a safety, way to do it also, because you may be a very well-known company and they can still do wrong to you. It's just about being careful and look for red flags, if there is any, and don't take it to, if you see that that main company is not delivering what they say to you, it's just better to talk to them, directly, and say, this isn't working out, or why is this, going to a different way.
Yeah.
And if it is not working, just step out before it becomes more, hard. Like, it becomes an issue or a problem.
What are some of those red flags? Like right now, someone listening, I'm like, they probably have been approached and they probably could make good money, but what are some things they can look out for? What are some of those red flags, or even green flags too?
Well, now that I've been doing this for a long time, well, they usually have their contract, right? We have a contract between prime and subcontractor. So they have to set, for me, the payout, it's important. What date I'm going to get paid? What is the percentage I'm going to get paid? And also, the rules that they have, because nowadays we have to be very careful, especially because I think I mentioned this on my other podcast, for, Department of Labor or IRS, rules. We have to be very careful. So when the prime contractor, sets all of these rules or regulations on their contract, you have to agree to those and make sure that both of them understand, both ways they understand what it's implying in that, because some of the contractors will ask you to use their uniforms, and that's something that you can't, because that can get you in trouble. I will suggest,
as a contractor or as a sub, or both?
Both.
Wow.
Contractor and sub, yeah. Or they will say, we have like a check-in system, like your
Clocking
team is
in.
gonna, like, clocked in, clocked out. That's also can be a problem, And I understand about setting the times, because I know that there is customers that you cannot just go any
Yeah.
day or any time to clean. They will set times. I understand about that part, but we also have to make sure that our team understand that, so they don't feel like, oh, you making me do what you want. I mean, I
Yeah.
have my own schedule, but we have to be very clear, on that, because that can get you in a very very vulnerable position with, like I say, with either IRS or with Department of Labor. So I have learned about that in the hard way.
Yeah.
And now I will say to the audience to always talk to the prime and say, I wanted to give you the best service I can along with my team, but we have to set some rules, both ways.
Yeah.
So that way there will be no problem. And like I say, I will look onto. You asked me about the red flags. Well, if they don't pay you on the time that they say they will pay, or if they just start talking to your team instead of talking to you directly about the problems that are going on, that's also a red flag, because it's like I say, it puts you in a dangerous situation as a company.
Hey, are you ready to challenge yourself? Mark your calendars for the event of the year, the Cleaning Profits Takeover Edition, happening in Denver, Colorado from September 24 to 26. Head over to event.cleaningprofits.com for all the details. For being listeners, use code CEO30 for a 30% discount. See you there.
You just brought up an interesting point. So you, if you're the subcontractor, is it typical just to have one point of contact in that case so that they don't go to your team?
Yeah, well, whenever we set these commitments with the company, we'll say, contact my operation team or contact, the supervisor, instead going to the team
The
directly,
cleaner.
because they feel, like I say, if they start going to them, first of all, that team will say, well, it's going to be conflicts over there, because say, well, you're not paying me, or it just gets very confusing, the communication. So it's better to, just set those rules and say, please contact my operations department. I will relay the information to my team as necessary. So, yes. Mm-hmm.
How can they find out about these laws? Because I know that there's laws, we all know, but not everybody follows them. We know that as well. And a lot of people, not that they don't want to follow them, they just probably don't even know. Like the uniform thing.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this, believe me. I mean, I see every company doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, national companies, multi-million companies doing it. And I was not even aware that I was doing wrong. And we have, when the already happened to me, even the Department of Labor say, you can contact us and ask us, if this is the right way to do it. And we will tell you if you are following the rules. I mean, let's not be, sometimes people are scared to look information or to ask these officers.
Yeah.
But they will tell you, they will not say, oh, you're doing it wrong, but they will say, contact us and let us and say, hey, is this right? What I'm doing, I'm trying to, do subcontracting, but I'm doing it this way. Is that okay? And they will tell you, oh no, you have to do it this other way, because that is not, following the compliance rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a funny question, actually, going back to the uniform thing. So if you're a subcontractor and you're subcontracting for whoever, what do your subs show up in? Do they have a uniform? Are they wearing a week clean?
Yeah, good question.
No, like I say, before I did make a lot of mistakes like that. But now the way I do it now, or I will ask my subs to do it, is to wear, one color shirt. Either if their company logo colors are black, or, I will not ask them, especially to wear their uniforms, because, it's something that, if they don't want to do it, but, just to wear the color, something that identify them, because, the customers also worry, oh, who is in the building, and we need to identify ourselves that we are, with a cleaning team and things like that. So I would recommend not use the logo at all, but, use a shirt that says cleaning team or cleaning crew, and then with the color, of the company that is working in there. Mm-hmm.
Since they can't wear your uniform, as your sub, can you provide them that shirt that says cleaning crew with your colors, even though it's technically not a uniform?
Us, no, we can't. We cannot provide that.
They have
will-
to. They have to
and
get.
you know, when you hire subcontractors, you need to tell them, please, make sure that you wear something that identify your company. Like you team cleaning in the building or anywhere that they're doing it. And I will suggest you to just wear something that it says, cleaning crew or things like that. And if they don't have the funds yet, I will go ahead and provide that to them, and I will just collect the money from them later.
And if a contractor company told you, oh, because of our contract, we need you guys to wear our uniform, at that point, do you turn down that contract?
Yes, now I do. I'm going. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, because that, like I say, it can get you in a lot of trouble. I mean, whenever I was audited, there was only 3 things that got me in trouble, and out of like a 20 number of items that were on the list, and that was like the uniform and the clocking system, and also the times that I used to tell them to work. So yes, and also that adding to that times, the Department of Labor looking at if you give them a different assignments, still, you are breaking the rule if they are working over 8 hours, even if they went home and took a break or things like that. So the way to do it is also, if you are gonna put a team to work more than one project, make sure that they are, of course, they have a company, a small company. It doesn't have to be a big company, but at least they have a DBA. And also that they also provide other jobs from other companies. That way you will get protected, because sometimes, you will say, well, that's not my fault that they don't want to work, right, in another place. But it's just to protect yourself from whatever audit can happen. It's just for you protection,
So a subcontractor could be just an individual, or it could be a company.
It can be...
or is that different?
Well, it can be an individual, but like I say, that individual has to have another job. Because if they only have your job, it's automatically become your employee according to the rule.
Even if it's part-time?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. Because I was reading, same thing with international workers. They were saying like what differentiates them. And it's the fact that if in their work or in their contract, if they say they only work for you and they're not allowed to get any other jobs, they're officially an employee.
Yes.
Even if you pay them as a contractor, it doesn't matter, because technically they can't have any job. Therefore, they're full-time with you. So I found that very interesting. Huh.
Someone's listening to this,
nice.
Raquel, and they're thinking about the subcontracting model. What are some of the pros of subcontracting, and what are some of the cons? And then also W-2. Like, I know this is the big debate. Do you do W-2? Do you do subcontracting? Give someone that's thinking about maybe getting into the subcontracting world some of the...
As a subcontractor, or like to subcontract someone if you're a company?
Yeah,
What
good.
would you? Which
Yeah,
would you want?
to subcontract to other people. What are some benefits, and maybe what are some things that aren't good?
It's a good question.
Well, okay. So me being a prime contractor, what would I choose? Contractors versus W-2?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Good question.
It will be a combination of both. I will do a combination of both. It's whenever you do, just let's keep in mind, when you subcontract a contract, you don't have a lot of control of that, because you cannot tell them what to do. They have to, you cannot train them. And also you cannot provide them with the chemicals. So you cannot lose a little bit of control there, because you want the best to happen in that building, right? You want them to represent you good to your company. So
wait, so what do you give? I'm sorry, but so what do you? I'm like, can't tell them what to do.
Can't train.
Can't train. Yeah, exactly. So good luck, man. Just kidding. No. So what do you give them? Just like the scope of work to leadership and a checklist?
Yeah, well, you have to give it a scope of work, because they have to follow. We need to follow what the customer wants, right? We don't want to also have them to overdo the work if there's areas that they don't have to. So yeah, you provide them with a scope of work, but the right way to do it, I believe, in my experience, is to find a company, a small company, or an individual that want to grow along with your company. Because if that way, you have more security that they will take care of that building, because they will feel like that's my business. That's something that I wanted to grow. So, and they will have experience. People that have that are opening their business is because they wanted to grow, or they have prior experience with working. So I will just suggest to get somebody qualified. Don't try to get somebody that doesn't really know, because then maybe if you want to get somebody at the opportunity, because we have to give opportunities too, right? So maybe started that person as a W-2, train them well, and then get your best teams out of the W-2s. Who works hard, who wants to grow, and then you convert them to
a company.
to that 1099. That's like the safety way
idea
to do it now, because like I say, if you get somebody that you don't know how it works, it's a risk for your customer and for yourself, because they're representing your company.
What's up, guys? Today's episode is brought to you by Cinch. If you're ready to take your commercial cleaning business to the next level, we have you covered. Maybe you're struggling with how to bid, how to create professional-looking proposals, or just how to ensure your customers' accounts are actually being cleaned at night. Introducing Cinch Janitorial Software. Cinch is a simple, user-friendly software that eliminates these types of struggles that you probably know all too well. Cinch simplifies your entire process and will supercharge your success, because they remove paperwork headaches while creating a scalable, efficient, and profitable cleaning business. Get your free demo of Cinch at cleancinch.com. They're here to turn your business into a success story. That's cleancinch, CINCH.com. It's simple, it's Cinch. So as a prime contractor, then, since there's so many rules and regulations around this, what is it, like, let's say you just get an account for this building. You're the prime contractor and he's your sub.
Mm-hmm.
How do you onboard him?
Well, like I say, it's just like onboarding a W-2. You will have, an interview. You will you find out their goals. So what is that they looking for, in this kind of building, like a multi-tenant building, is a pretty big building. I will not get somebody new personally.
Yeah.
I will just start somebody from a small, building, and then we can grow them. I will just, get somebody that qualifies for that.
Like, do you walk the building with them?
Exactly.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, you need to walk them
yeah.
the building, because you need to show them that building.
So that's not considered training.
No, it's not. Considered training is like you show them how to do that job. Like, you need to dust this way, you need to clean that toilet this way. But you show them that scope of work and your expectations too, because, it's like a customer vendor relationship. They are your vendors practically,
Yeah.
So it's like, my expectations are this, and you're not telling them what to do. You're just telling them your expectations,
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful with the wording that we do. And, it's just a little bit more difficult. However, having a W-2s, and the advantage is that, of course, you will save, equipment. You don't have to buy their equipment. They will buy it. They will have to provide the chemicals. You don't have to pay a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
You save on taxes. And that's the advantage, right? But you cannot train them. You don't have control of them. And then also an advantage is, well, we're talking about a disadvantage. The advantage of having, that's part of it. They will also, provide their equipment, supplies, and then also if one of their teams calls sick, they still have to do it either way.
Yeah, you don't have to fulfill.
Yeah, instead of like calling sick, I cannot make it. So that's, the advantage of having a subcontractor. But if you do it the right way, and then both of you work as a team, it work out, but you just have to respect, them as a company, because they are a company as well. So you have to respect them, and also pay them on time, it's just very important, to pay them on time all the time, because they also have to pay their people. That's something that you need to comply all the time.
What not to get into the weeds, I just have a quick question. What are normal payment terms from contractor to sub? I know it depends on types of building,
Yes.
but like on average, is it
Oh,
like a net
wow.
30, net 15, due on receipt?
Based on my experience, I've been having all kinds of payments. Yeah.
What's your ideal term?
That they pay you, and then
My
that you pay them.
ideal will be 30 to 45 days.
That you pay or that they pay you? Or
That they
both?
pay me for me.
Okay.
Wow.
To when I
Okay.
pay people, I pay my people at net 30 for me. But I have experience, prime contractors pay me 60 days, 45 days, 90 days, or sometimes, they haven't paid me, So it's just it's different terms for different people. I mean, with different companies. But like I say, to me, the ideal to have my team happy, my contractors happy, subcontractors happy, I would say 30 to 45 days max. Mhm.
Talk to the audience about the type of relationships you can build, whether you're the prime contractor or the subcontractor, because I know someone like you've been both on both sides of the fence and you've worked with companies for like years on end. What like just talk to them about how fruitful those partnerships can be.
Well, I believe so. If you want to expand your business to either more cities to other states, you have to have subcontractors. There is no way you can do it with employees only.
Okay.
It will take you, well, maybe if possible, but it will take you double that time to do it, to get to that. Because when you have subcontractors, I mean, like I say, they already having their equipment, they already have their, they already know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and then they're responsible for each of their buildings. It's imagining if you have a contract like in California, and I have a W2 calling me like 2:00 in the morning, I cannot make it, right? Well, who I'm gonna be sending? If I don't have nobody. So it will be more expensive. And then, like I say, it's just a lot of turnover as well. A lot of money on, trying to, get somebody new, train them. So, I mean, if you're gonna expand, and even if you're not gonna expand, if you want to grow in the same city, same state, the subcontractor model is the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one of the things that, I agree. You're very good at relationships. Somebody listening to this, they're getting approached by a contractor so that they can be the sub. Sorry, sometimes I struggle to like
I know it's kind
connect
of
my brain.
confusing.
What are some negotiation tips that you would give a sub so that they can
Yeah, good
get the best
question.
deal possible as from the contractor? Because we know that there's contractors who will try to eat you alive, or maybe even, I don't want to say lie on the numbers because they don't lie, but maybe
Take advantage.
positioning in a different way. What are some negotiation tips you would give somebody?
Well, like I say, it's important. The first thing is the contract. It's very important to have everything written on the contract. That's something that I will do. And also sell your company, sell yourself, you have to tell them what advantage they have of having you as a company, Whenever somebody approached me, I'd always tell them, I don't want you to see me as a company that I just started yesterday and I started 17 or 20 years ago. I can provide you with, systems, software, supervision, backup crews, and things like that. You have to know how to sell yourself to that company, and they will find value on you once you let them know what is you capable of. I have worked, with this company that I made them millions of dollars. They gave me maybe around 70 buildings from them to subcontract, and they never worry. I mean, even my customers at one point, they didn't even know who was the person, who was the company that was working there, because I was just all the time with my team. And they used to just talk to me directly, but they never worry about it. They only got the check, they were invoicing, getting their money and depositing the money to me. So like I said, you have to know how to sell, to the prime contractor and let them know you also your rules, not only the rules apply to us, but also let them know, what is that your expectations from them. So that way, they understand that you are a company, a professional company, you are a professional. We all professionals, and they have to understand that. Even they own the contract, but without us, they cannot operate. So you
Yeah.
have to let them know. Very
How,
straight.
how do you ask them for more volume though?
They will, that will become very, they will ask you automatically, to give you once they see how you work. Whenever I am being approached from a company that I really wanted to work with them, I tell them, just give me anything you have. Because I know a lot of people turn small buildings, they don't want small buildings because they don't see no value on it.
Mhm.
But I say I just want them to step into that company so they can see how I work, and once they see that I can do a really great service for them, they will start giving me contracts back to back, from probably 1,000 square feet, building to now having a 1 million square feet. So yeah.
Imagine over 300 cleaning executives, all under one roof, ready to connect, collaborate, and build a community. Join your hosts, James Harper and Angel Sandoval, 11 keynote speakers, and 8 expert panelists sharing the blueprint to scale your life and business. Head over to event.cleaningprofits.com for all the details. For being listeners, use code CEO30 for a 30% discount. See you there.
What are some of the things that and I know we're just more going question and it's more tactical stuff. How do you what are some reports that you should ask from the top down, and what are reports that the bottom up should send? So contractor to sub to contractor. Is it inspections? Is it issues that they found in the building? How do you keep that transparency going from contractor to sub so that it could really be a partnership?
Well, they will. Most of the companies, the primes, will do their own inspections, just like you mentioned, and it's just depends on the company. They will email it to you, or they will call you. We have some problems, or they will text you.
Well, in an ideal world, let's say in an ideal world, in Raquel's ideal dream world, how would that relationship be, and what would each of them do so that it could be very fruitful?
Better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the ideal world for me, and I have asked to do that myself, I would like to do my own inspection instead of them doing that inspection, because sometimes I know the building better than they do because I've been, doing it for a while. And, I'm very transparent, and I'm talking about for myself, and I would recommend this for, the audience if they want, to do the same thing. I'm very transparent. I will do my own inspection. And I even tell, the prime contractor, please allow me to do it. Allow me to talk to your customers, because most of them, they will not allow you to talk to the customers. I will tell you, I wear your shirt. Doesn't matter if at one point I have 10 shirts from different,
But I thought you couldn't wear the shirt.
No. Me, I mean, me as the person going to do the inspection for them. No, as I'm representing them at that time, just for that time. It's not
That's
I'm
legal?
working for them. Well,
now I thought we just,
confusing.
now I'm back in 360.
She's like, it's a gray area.
No, well, it's just no, well, it's a little bit
She's
confusing.
like, do you ever go over the speed limit?
No, well, it's maybe I make it a little confusing on that part. But like I say, I'm going to represent them as if I was doing the inspection. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I got you.
And, I always be transparent with them, say, we found these things, this is reported. I want to be proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah.
So I will, whatever I found, I will just relay the information instead of you going, because sometimes they will not know what's going on at night, or why if they go and inspect something that maybe that suite was closed for 3 weeks. We didn't have access for some reason, and they just go inspect and say, oh, it's dirty. It's just I know the building more than them.
Yeah.
If they allow me to do that, I will just suggest that. And that will be the perfect world for me, to have them allow me to do my own inspections, and also to talk to the customer to see how things are going.
And communicate the report out.
And to them, of course, it will be very transparent. Communicate everything that I have found, and I say, your customer report this to me. However, I already took action on it. This is my plan of action, what we're going to be doing moving forward.
Without their uniform?
Yes, correct.
Correct.
No, without wearing their uniform, yes.
Yes.
Please don't wear the uniform.
Just don't wear it.
Please don't.
Yo, listen, the Department of Labor might be listening to all these. Maybe they listen to all of our podcasts and we don't even know. Do you think they have a team that does that? They just listen?
Oh, yeah.
They probably do. They just shout out Department of Labor ads.
Yeah. DOL.
No. That's how I was
No,
wondering. I was
it's a very important, like I said, to
Can we enter
clarify
something?
that that kind of things is not allowed to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if somebody knows somebody in the Department of Labor, send them over to the Profitable Cleaner. I think that would be a hell of a podcast. Just get more in the details.
We want to
of things.
interview you so we can better the cleaning industry.
Yeah.
Play by the rules for the sake of rules, but we're going to play by them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any other questions on subcon? Like, because I have a lot, but
I just have one last one for you. So subcontract recruiting, right? If you're looking for a subcontractor and you're like, I need a new crew or multiple crews, team. Where do you go to find them? How do you recruit new subcontractors?
yeah, what are some top 3 strategies
just give us some tips.
for sub recruitment? There we go. That's a good one.
Well, I
That's
use a lot social media. I know that a lot of people don't recommend that, like Facebook or things like that. But believe me, I have recruited my best teams from social media, Facebook groups,
like through posting. Facebook groups,
from
got
Facebook.
local groups.
Yeah, like we have groups for work, in the area or things like that. I've been using that for a long. Before I used to use Craigslist, a long time ago, when that was going on. So I know that a lot of people use recruiting, agency, which is perfect. That's good to use. But to me, it has worked out, that way. But it's as long as whatever works for for everyone. But for me, it has been social media. Yeah.
Do you have any qualifications that you look for in a subcontractor that you already learned from, like red flags, green flags?
Yes. First of all, to me, I know you asked early about can an individual be a subcontractor, right? Yes, it can, but if you wanted to be in that safe area, safe place, is help them if they don't have that company.
Help them get it.
Yeah, help. And I just took 3 people last week. I took it in my car. I tell them, I want to meet you here. It's one of my team's members. They are W-2s. I'm converting them to 1099s. So I took him right here in downtown to the record office, and I took them to get their DBA.
Nice.
And yes, a lot of people, and I wanted to make this, I wanted the audience to understand this because I know a lot of people that are trying to get into the business industry. They are scared because they think they're going to pay a lot of taxes when you become an owner versus having an individual. But I tell them, no, it's actually the other way because you're going to have more write-offs. You can write off a lot of things. Even you own home. If you have a home office, you can even write off your space that you use to operate. So don't be scared, please. Educate your people. If you want to grow your company, and this is the way I'm doing it. I didn't mention this in the last podcast because we didn't talk about this a lot. But if you want to grow your company, expand, educate your own people, help them to also grow with you. Take them. If they don't know where to go, just take them with you, just take, 1 hour of your time and go and show them where to record their name. Yeah. Even, show them how to get their insurance. And it's not even that expensive. The 3 persons that I took last week, it cost them only $25 to register the DBA name. And they were so happy. I even took some pictures because I even told them, I want to see you, with a picture with your registry, and they were so happy, to pose and things like that. Because, to them, it's like a new starting,
it's a venture.
It's a beautiful feeling when you get your first business.
Yeah, and
I remember I was all excited.
Yeah, because they will remember. Just like I wish I had my DBA, picture long time ago.
Yeah.
So, it's just help your team because that also going to educate them.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in compliance as well, and everybody's happy at the end of the day. That's the way you grow your company, having reliable teams that also have they also want to grow. They want to provide better life for their families. So help them to do that, Don't take advantage of them, instead of help them because that's actually is going to help your company to grow.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and also maybe you may want to educate them when they're W-2s, just have some classes in your own office. Bring people, like you say, you just ask somebody in the Department of Labor, work. I mean, can somebody help me here?
Yeah.
And maybe we can even contact the Department of Labor. They have a lot of information that also they can give you in Spanish, English. They have all the information. They told me, whenever you have a question that you're not sure, call us. I mean, don't be scared to call us. We are here to make sure you in compliance, and also you work, you people are, also feel safe, that you're following the rules.
Yeah.
So that's my advice, to educate your people, to and you're both gonna be successful on both sides. At the end of the day, don't take advantage of them, because then it can get you in trouble. So why taking advantage of people when they're gonna help you to go to the next level?
What's up, Profitable Cleaner listeners? Quick question for you. Are you using 5 to 7 different platforms just to manage the everyday operations of your commercial cleaning company? If so, let us help you consolidate that into one platform. Introducing you uSource. Go to usource.com, book your free demo today, and actually get started on your trial for 60 days. No charge for 60 days, all from time and attendance to reporting, vendor management, operations, sales. It's time you stop using 5 to 7 platforms and consolidate into one. So listeners, don't forget, go to usource.com and start your account today. We also, just for some people that don't know, we were talking, what are we talking about? We were talking and we said, we're talking about a cleaner in Denver. And we're like, oh man, it's because unfortunately that individual doesn't have any papers. So she has to do everything, kind of be hiding at all times. And then we're talking and you mentioned, no, like even if they don't have any papers, they can still create a business. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that.
Yes, and I just got that you're talking about right now. I just got a text today from one lady that she say, I heard, you helping people to register, their business, but I only have my IT number or something like that. I think that number that IRS provides for you to...
Your residency?
No. It's like a number where if you don't have a social security number, you can ask.
You have a social.
You can ask for an IT number, and so you can file your taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're like a way of identifying, basically, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I told him, yes, you can. The only thing that I will ask you in the clerk office, well, this is different than the social, but the clerk office will be an identification, either your passport from your country or your driver license from here, right? So that's all they ask you. Then you can go to office that they do taxes, and maybe HR block or other tax offices, and tell them to ask for your EIN number. Yes. You can still get your EIN number with your IT number. Believe it or not, you can still get it as the EIN for the company. So you don't need to have anything, because you are independent. That's your own company. You're not working for nobody. You're working for yourself. So you don't need that. Please don't be scared to go and register your company, even if you don't have your documentation yet, or you are in the process. Don't be scared. Just go get your company registered. Go to an office, a tax office, where you can get your EIN. They can apply for your EIN number with your IT number.
Yeah, I think that's important, because even like some people might also feel like they're not supporting the country when they're just kind of here. Now you get to pay taxes, right?
Yeah.
Pay taxes. They get to grow a business. They get to employ people. They get to provide for themselves and their family.
Yeah, and I told this to the people that I have taken. I say, this is going to open a lot of doors for you, because now you are a business owner. You're going to build credit based on being a business owner.
True.
You can purchase your home in the future. I mean, it opens a whole new world for you.
Good point.
Credit cards. You can get credit cards with an IT number. Yeah.
That's fact.
So it's just the only thing we need to do is educate our people, and the people not to be scared of, I mean, there's a lot of paperwork that I have to do. No. If you want to do this as a business, just don't be scared. Just educate yourself, and then you will do good. You're going to have your own business, even if you don't have anything. You can be a millionaire, you know, you can
Well,
become a
literally still not-
millionaire.
Love it.
and still
And
not be a
then
resident.
maybe you can apply
Exactly.
with to this is another totally different
Which I
thing,
believe there's
right?
a law or something like that, if I'm
They-
not mistaken.
yeah,
that
they
if
can-
your
you can-
business is making more than a
Yes.
million,
then you can
then you
apply
can-
for another
it's
when
basically
some type
like
of
almost
visa.
like automatic visa almost, because they're paying so much taxes that they're like, keep them.
Well, you investing, you know, it's like looking
Yeah.
at some kind of investing
Yeah.
visa. Then you can apply for your residency. Yeah.
Boom. Any final messages, any last statements that you want to bring the people? This was more like unlike last time it was a lot of stories and stuff. This time was like bam,
This was
bam,
masterclass,
bam,
dude.
bam. This margin, this
well,
much,
and I
this
wish
Yeah.
much.
we
Boom.
had more time, and you know, I can.
Well, last time we
be-
did 2 hours, huh?
I know.
That's why. Like
But,
an hour
you know,
and 40.
This is actually a message for us as a prime contractors and also subcontractors. Okay, this is I want a message for both sides. I'm gonna start with a prime contractor. A message to all of the companies that are giving us contracts. My message to those companies is please, you know, appreciate your contractors because we also have families that we need to feed. You know, we have also bills to pay, and we are here to grow with you. We want to give you the best service, but we need to respect both
Yeah.
sides. You know, I'm gonna respect your clients too, and this is a message I also I'm gonna do in a little bit. But you know, please respect your subcontractors. You know, as say they were your own employees. You know, like I said before, pay on time, provide them with, you know, good information from the beginning because you want to set every team for success,
Yeah.
not for failure. Because at the end of the day, both sides are going to lose, right? If you don't give me the correct information.
Agreed.
I have experience where companies just throw me over there in the building and then they complaining to me like, why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? Well, I was trying to figure out on my own. So information is very important. You know, clarity is very important on both sides.
Hmm.
And because it will take, like I say, I don't understand what doesn't happen because, you know, at the end of the day, both sides win, you know? So just treat us, you know, with respect and, you know, and we'll do that good job. And then, and that's also a message for us as I subs to the prime, right? Respect your prime contractors, customers.
Mm.
Don't try to steal customers from them, you know, because you have to have ethical, you know, you have to be very ethical. There is experience that I have seen on my own eyes that they will try to approach the prime contractor contract.
Yeah.
So that is not good, you know, because you put in yourself, you know, maybe there will be few customers that will try to say yes to you because you are giving them cheaper prices, but there will be also customers that they will think bad about you because if you're not ethical
Yeah.
with your own
Yeah, good
prime
point.
No
contractor,
loyalty.
what make me think that you're gonna be good working in
Yeah.
my business? And also, like I say, you don't even have to go that far. Just don't do it, you
Yeah.
know, because I've been working probably on my business life, probably with 20 different, about 20, maybe a little bit more. I don't remember anymore, but prime contractors have never tried to approach, you know,
Their
the main customer. I have always promised to be ethical, even though customers have approached me and say, you know, Raquel, we know that you always here. You people is always here. We never see the
Yes,
person that we
yeah.
contract with. We're gonna give it to you so you can get all of the money. And I say, no. I can't. You know, I just can't. You know, that's not the way I do business. So I don't want that. You know,
Yeah.
please, let's continue doing it this way. If you're happy with my work, you know, I will always gonna be here. You know, we agree with the, you know, prime contractor to do it this way. So I'm happy to do it this way.
Yeah.
But please don't try to approach their customers, and also don't talk bad about that company with nobody.
Yeah.
You know, it's not ethical.
Yeah.
And if you're not happy with whatever is going on between you. Don't talk to their customers about them because it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad business. And if you want to grow, you want to be professional.
Yeah.
Be professional from the beginning so you have more opportunities. Never burned bridges with nobody. You know, I have experience in the past where maybe we don't agree at some point, you know, with the prime sub relationship. And I just say, you know, I just give my 30-day notice and I leave. And we're still friends, actually. You know, we continue
as it should be.
seeing in different events, you know, we hug each other. I mean, because that relationship did not work out, but that doesn't mean I'm their enemy or they are my enemy.
Yeah, totally.
So always leave those doors open because you never know when you're going to need each other, right? Maybe at that time it didn't work out, but maybe in the future it's going to work out. 100%. So that's my message for both sides. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Any final statements, brother?
Just want to say thank you. Really appreciate our friendship and really your expertise too. Yeah. I'm glad like we've been able to extract more of that expertise out of you because your experience is strong and just you're a rock star and we love you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, I know you asked me benefits on that W-2s and we didn't extend that. But
Trust
maybe
me,
in another podcast in the future, I would like to really give more information because it's really important. This part, to have a business succeed in both sides, prime and sub and all of that, you need to understand the rules because it's very dangerous. I mean, it's super dangerous not to understand these rules. So, you know, I will be happy to talk about this more in the future. More in details and have maybe in the audience ask us questions in the future.
There you go.
Well, if you want to ask her questions, go to Cleaning Profits because she will be in the expert panel this year.
That's right.
Yeah, see, you can't give them all the sauce. So if you want to go in there, ask questions about subcontracting W2, we'll have two powerhouses in subcontracting, which is Dan and yourself. It's going to be beautiful. So
I wanted to say something about Dan. I've been working as a sub. He's been a prime for almost 18 years, and it's been the greatest experience. I wanted to say that to everyone.
Oh, awesome.
That, you know, these kind of relationships can last for long if you do it the right way.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm excited to see your growth. I'm excited to see the future of We Clean Janitorial. And again, if you have questions, reach out to her. She will be in our panel. She also has her event coming up in October, Mujeres Emprendedoras en Limpieza. So make sure you reach out to Raquel. You probably already have her on social media. If you don't, add her and make sure you go there. All right, we'll put it on the show notes. Thank you so much, Raquel.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.